Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crypto Moses channel. In today's video, we're going to go over how much will one XRP's price be worth if Bitcoin hits $1 million. And this is actually predicted by ARK Invest CEO, Ms. Cathie Woods herself. So I'm really excited about this. And this is the article I found. I actually can't open it here for some reason. VPN is even lagging. So instead, we're just going to break it down just like the way I found it here. So what do we know? And more importantly, who is Cathie Wood? So she's the CEO of ARK Invests. And she wasn't into crypto at the wild beginning, but sooner or later, she got into it just like all other investment firms. And the most important thing to think about this is how much would XRP hit? We're going to break down why it could hit that $23 mark. And near the end of the video, we're going to do some TA on XRP because I really want to kind of see what the charts are also telling us. And here's something to think about. Cathie Wood is basically stating that by 2030, Bitcoin could reach $1 million a coin, right? And I 1000% agree with the fact that if it does that, we're going to have a huge bull run in every other altcoin. Meme coins are going to go crazy, and that will be some life-changing money for everybody in crypto. So right now, what we see is she stated that Bitcoin's price will reach 1 million by 2030. And if this happens, XRP is going to rally tremendously. Even also, Ethereum should, and so should the rest. Now, her question is, what should one XRP be worth if BTC hits this target? So she actually had this interview on CNBC, as you guys can see that here, and she's got just a bullish forecast for Bitcoin. Now, I don't know how much they hold in Bitcoin, but I'm hoping a lot. And she's even stating that it could reach 1.5 million per coin, which would just be insane. Her exact words actually were, we have always had the 2030 target. The base case is 700,000 to 750,000 range. The bull case is $1.5 million range. And she opened with that such a rally because she's assuming that it's going to take up gold's market share. And I actually do believe that statement because we're seeing a lot of institutional adoption and there's a lot of growing use cases within the crypto market. You guys, the crypto market's growing every year. There's more people entering crypto. I see it when I go to the events. I see it within these videos. I see it within the traders. And this is exactly what the Ripple community is anticipating will drive the future of XRP, me included. Now, how she breaks it down. So they're estimating this price of one XRP token if BTC reaches $1 million. So we're going to need to assume different scenarios. So their first scenario is that XRP would capture 6.8% of BTC's market share, right? And in this forecast, by 2030, it's looking like the current market cap share. So XRP has a market cap of 136 billion, which is around of 6.8% of Bitcoin's current $2 trillion market cap. So if XRP maintained that market share against BTC, that would mean that if Bitcoin is at 1 million, it would need to be $20 trillion in market cap, which makes sense because it's a 10x multiple. And this would make it equivalent to 1.3 trillion in the market cap of XRP. And again, all they did was multiply it by 10. You can see that here. So if Ripple supply remains a consistent at 58 billion, which is subject to change, we have to remember that, that would make one XRP token worth $23, which is literally a 10x multiple from just where we are today. And with the price value of $23, it will have a $1.3 trillion market cap. And that is actually realistic if BTC gets to 20 trillion market cap by 2030. Now they've broken down scenario number 2, and this is stating if XRP captures 10% of the market cap, which would just be awesome, right? And if BTC's, that would then make XRP's market cap reach $2 trillion, assuming the exact same supply, which again is subject to change, but that would put the price at $35 per coin, which is maybe 14 times multiple, maybe even 20 times. No, I wouldn't say 20. It's about 16 time multiple. And again, this would be very dependent if BTC is trading at $1 million per coin. Now, however, getting to such a high price would require a lot of institutional adoption and, more importantly, usage. Now, the best case scenario for all of us is if XRP captures 20% of the share. And here's my opinion real quick. I do think XRP could easily hold that. And the reason I say that is because XRP is the one crypto that's not fully acting like a crypto, but giving you all the benefits of crypto. So I think that if a lot of institutions and banks end up using it, it's going to be very, very possible. And at that number, it's going to reach about $68 per freaking token. And if we were to do the 68 divided by the 230, I think we're at today, that is a 29x multiple. And this would be a really realistic case, but the most realistic one is going to be the scenario number one, where it could reach $23 if BTC reaches $1 million. Now, what factors are going to drive the XRP price rally, right? We've talked about this. Institutional adoption is going to be a huge key catalyst for the future growth of XRP. And CoinGate is the place I found this info in, reported that a spot XRP ETF is actually getting close to approval finally, after all the crap they've been through, and considering that XRP is the largest USA made altcoin, this is going to guarantee draw institutional interest. And then secondly, the end of that lawsuit is going to bring a lot more retail interest. Why? Because they won, right? Currently, right now, only 23% of US investors are backing Ripple, but with more regulatory clarity and approval, I know that this number will grow and it will drive an explosive rally for this specific altcoin. Now, if we consider the above factors, it is more than likely to guarantee reach $23 by 2030, specifically if BTC hits $1 million, as Kathy would forecast it. Now, let's get into the charts and see what XRP is doing right now. So we are getting a cool off season, right? And you guys can see that we've drawn this line for a while back of exactly what it's been doing, and it broke out of that channel. And after it broke out of that, it basically rode about 25%. So right now we are getting a pullback. And if we're going to look at the fib retracement, that pullback is roughly almost at the 38.2 percentile. And it needs to hit about $2.26. And I think it totally will. It might even get back down to about $2.00. But here's my recommendation. If you were to hit that number, clearly I'm not a financial advisor, but if it's going to hit that number, what I'm going to do is definitely enter in some fat bags. And the reason I say that is for three reasons. One, we need a pullback and it's going to happen. It doesn't mean that it's going to get there, but if it does, the second reason it's beneficial is this has been a solid support area for XRP, right? I mean, it's gone down to about $1.76, and that was just a single wick. You guys, this would have been a very profitable day if you had caught that trade. Same with this, and also this. This was not a wick. It actually broke down and it found support and broke out of it, but the current next value number estimation would be that it would get to the 61.8, because fib actually works really, really well with markets and with charts. So it's something very, very, very precise to look at. And then another thing we see here is the fib extension. It actually followed through with that. And with that fib extension, it actually hit all the way up to a 1.618. And that's where it found its current resistance. But here's my thinking. If the rubber band works, which it always does, you can see the previous of the charts, it should bounce back up to the 2.618 minimum, which gets us to about $3.26. And my bullish case scenario is it gets to the 4.236 number here, which would be the $4.26. So I am still very, very, very bullish on XRP in itself. I've got a lot of faith in it, and I'm going to keep DCAing into it, and I'm going to keep day trading it because it's an easy money maker, specifically with how volatile it is compared to BTC, which is only moving 1% a day some days. Some days we're getting big wicks, but it's not the same as XRP. So that's what makes it so beneficial. And why is that? Because XRP currently has a lower market cap. So you can actually use that to your advantage. Now, if you found this video helpful, if you're an XRP lover and supporter like me, make sure you're following the channel. Make sure you click subscribe. Make sure you click that like button on it and share it to another XRP lover. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one, but just stay safe out there in these crazy, crazy markets. Thank you.